You've probably heard the same tired advice. Try harder, send another text, show her how much you care, and eventually she'll come around. Here's the problem. That advice is exactly why she's not coming around. Women don't end up wanting a man because he proved himself. They end up wanting him because he became someone worth wondering about, even when he wasn't in the room. This isn't pickup artist nonsense. This is how female psychology actually works under the surface. And by the time we're done, you'll understand why a woman who barely noticed you can end up checking her phone hoping you texted first. Stay with me, because what I'm about to break down contradicts almost everything you've been taught about getting a woman to like you. Here's the part that surprises most men. Indifference isn't a wall, it's a temporary setting. It can shift, and it shifts based on how you show up, not how hard you try. Making a woman want you isn't about convincing her of your worth through effort. Effort is actually the trap. The men who try hardest are usually the ones women forget fastest. What works is the opposite of effort. It's restraint. It's becoming the kind of presence that lingers in someone's head uninvited. So today, I'm walking you through exactly how that happens, piece by piece, starting with the one mistake almost every man makes first. 1. Effort repels more than it attracts. Nobody likes to hear this, but it's true. The more you try to win a woman over, the more she instinctively pulls back. It doesn't make sense on the surface. You're being thoughtful, you're showing up, you're putting in work. Shouldn't that count for something? In theory, yes. In female psychology, no. Because effort without restraint reads as imbalance. It tells her you need this more than she does, and the moment that imbalance shows up, the dynamic flips. She's no longer wondering about you, she's managing you. Here's a comparison that makes it click. You know that feeling when a store keeps emailing you discount after discount? After a while, you stop opening the emails, not because the deal got worse, but because constant access killed the urgency. Desire works the same way. The less someone has to wonder about getting your attention, the less they actually want it. There's also something deeper happening here. Visible effort signals insecurity, and insecurity is the fastest way to disappear from someone's mind. Women aren't pulled toward men who perform value. They're pulled toward men who simply have it and don't need to announce it. So if there's one shift to make immediately, it's this. Stop performing. Stop proving. Let your presence speak instead of your effort. Picture this. You've been the one initiating every conversation for 2 weeks straight. Instead of sending one more message tonight, you don't send anything. 2 days pass. More often than not, she's the one who breaks first, because the absence did what the texts couldn't. 2. What you don't say matters more than what you do. Most men think constant contact builds connection. Morning text, afternoon check-in, goodnight message. It feels like care. What it actually does is flatten your presence into background noise. When you're always reachable, your words stop carrying weight because there's no scarcity attached to them. Going quiet does something different. It opens a gap, and human brains hate unfilled gaps. They rush to fill them with questions. Is he busy? Did something change? Why hasn't he texted? That questioning is where attraction quietly takes root. Think of attention like a limited resource. The more freely you give it away, the less anyone values receiving it. Pull it back, even briefly, and suddenly it carries weight again. People don't crave what's abundant. They crave what feels limited. To be clear, this isn't about going cold or playing games. It's about not needing to fill every silence. A man who's comfortable not checking in constantly is showing her something words can't, that his life isn't orbiting her replies. That, more than any message, is what makes her lean back in. Say you've been replying within seconds for weeks, and lately her responses have gotten shorter. The instinct is to text more, to fix it with words. Instead, go quiet for a day. 9 times out of 10, the silence gets noticed louder than the messages ever did. 3. Constant availability makes you forgettable. There's a quiet mistake a lot of men make. They treat being always on call as proof of how much they care. Drop plans if she needs something. Reply within seconds, every single time. Make sure she never has a reason to wonder where you are. It feels generous. What it actually does is erase any tension, and without tension, there's nothing left to feel curious about. When you're endlessly available, nothing about you requires effort to access. There's no version of you that feels earned, and anything that doesn't require effort to access rarely gets valued the way it should. You felt this yourself. Think about something you wanted that wasn't easy to get, a goal that took work, an opportunity that wasn't guaranteed. The difficulty is part of why it mattered. Now think about something that was handed to you with zero resistance. It rarely holds the same weight. Women respond the same way to men. They're not drawn to a man who reorganizes his life around their attention. They're drawn to a man who has his own momentum, his own priorities, his own version of busy. A man who can say, "I'm not free tonight," without panic. That kind of independence reads as security, not rejection. So understand this. The more you remove all friction from accessing you, the less reason she has to think about you when you're gone. Friction is what creates memory. 4. Ambiguity holds attention longer than full disclosure. We're raised to believe transparency is always the right move, and in long-term relationships, it often is. But early attraction runs on a different fuel entirely, and that fuel is curiosity. Most men think laying everything out, feelings, plans, schedule, builds closeness fast. What it actually does is hand her the entire picture before she's had any reason to lean in and look for it herself. When someone doesn't fully know what you're about, their mind does something interesting. It starts filling in the blanks on its own, usually in your favor. She starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, what's actually going on in your head. That wondering is doing more work than any explanation could. Think about why certain shows keep people hooked for entire seasons. It's the unanswered question, not the resolved one. The moment everything is revealed, the curiosity has nowhere left to go. A man who narrates every detail of his day removes that pull entirely. There's nothing left to imagine, and imagination is what keeps someone mentally tethered to you. So no, this isn't an argument against honesty. It's a reminder that withholding a little isn't dishonest. It's strategic. The goal is simple. Give her enough to be intrigued, not enough to stop wondering. 5. Competing for attention guarantees losing it. Watch how some men behave the second another guy enters the picture. They get louder, funnier, more present, more desperate to be noticed. They treat her attention like a prize they have to out-hustle other men for. And here's the blunt truth. That instinct alone signals to her that you don't believe you're already enough. Men who understand their own value don't compete. They don't track who else is texting her or who liked her latest photo. Competing implies you think someone else might outrank you, and the second you believe that, she starts to believe it too. Attraction follows belief more than it follows logic. This is the part that needs to land. Stop treating her attention like something you have to fight for. The instant you stop competing, your entire energy shifts. You're no longer auditioning. You're simply present, unaffected, unbothered, and that shift changes how she sees you almost immediately. Men who beg for attention get pity at best. Men who don't need it get curiosity, respect, and eventually desire. 6. Confidence outlasts affection. Here's something that's hard for a lot of men to accept. Love isn't actually the first thing that draws a woman in. Confidence is. You can say all the right things, show up consistently, mean every word, but if it's wrapped in insecurity, none of it lands the way you want it to. Insecure affection feels heavy. Confident presence feels light, and lightness is what people are drawn toward. Real confidence isn't loud. It's not bragging or dominating a room. It's the quiet certainty in how someone speaks, moves, and makes decisions without checking for approval first. You've seen it before. A guy who wasn't the most charming or the best looking in the room, but somehow held everyone's attention anyway. That wasn't charisma. That was self-assurance. And self-assurance is rare enough that people notice it instinctively. The mistake most men make is thinking confidence is something you say. It's not. It's something you do. It's making a decision and not second-guessing it out loud. It's having an opinion and not folding the second she disagrees. It's being fine walking away from a situation that doesn't respect you. That kind of presence doesn't fade from memory easily. Love fades faster when it's built on neediness. Confidence is what people replay in their heads long after the conversation ends. 7. The fear of losing you is stronger than the comfort of having you. This is the part most men get completely backwards. They think security is what makes a woman value them. In reality, certainty kills desire faster than almost anything else. If she knows, without question, that you'll always be there no matter how she treats your time or attention, there's nothing pulling her toward appreciating it. But the second she senses your attention isn't guaranteed anymore, something shifts in her head immediately. She starts second-guessing. Is he losing interest? Is someone else getting his time now? Did I miss something here? That uncertainty does something comfort never could. It creates urgency. Now, this isn't about manufacturing fake distance to manipulate her. It's about genuinely refusing to be a guarantee you haven't earned the right to be. It's living like your time has value because it does, and letting her feel what life looks like without your attention in it. That feeling, more than any conversation, is what makes someone want to hold on. So here's the real takeaway, and it might be uncomfortable to hear. Women don't end up missing the man who gave everything freely. They miss the one who respected himself enough to walk away when he wasn't valued. You can be endlessly kind, endlessly available, endlessly devoted, and still get forgotten because devotion without self-respect doesn't register as love. It registers as access. Now, I want to know something from you. Have you ever pulled back from someone and watched the dynamic completely flip? Tell me what happened in the comments. I read every single one, and I'll jump in personally to talk through your situation if you want feedback. Quick reminder before you go. If this kind of breakdown is actually useful to you, hit that subscribe button right now, because next week's video gets into something just as important: why giving a woman complete certainty about your loyalty too early might be the exact thing pushing her away. You don't want to miss that one. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.